Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is going to be a really exciting webinar. So no matter where you are in the world, we really appreciate it. I think as of right now, over 500 people registered to attend. So thank you. We know you're all busy. I know a lot of people on this call are busy. So we're going to be as concise as possible and go through some really good content. Today, we're going to be 45, 50 minutes, pretty content heavy, around unlocking the future of asset performance management. And you're going to hear from us at GE Vernova. SOCAR Turkiye is on the phone as well. Stork / Bilfinger, recently acquired Stork by Bilfinger, a consultancy firm, and then Verdantix, which is a leading APM analyst. What we're going to cover, and just to give you some overview, the chat is open for question and answers. You have a lot of experts on the call. They're going to introduce themselves here in a second. If a topic is of interest, please use the chat. If we can't answer in real time, we will follow up after the webinar. And any of the questions that seem to be trending, we will answer live, whether it's during the session or near the end during Q&A. So the quick agenda, we're going to do introduction. We're going to talk about Verdantix, who they are, what they do. We're going to go really deep into our GE Vernova APM and how we score in the latest Verdantix Green Quadrant. And then on the back end, which is a really exciting topic, we'll have Bilfinger and Stork talking about their ranking as an implementation provider. And then we have Tamer, who introduced himself from SOCAR Turkiye, who's going to talk about how we've all worked together to really do APM the right way in our eyes and share some of the wins and vision that they have. So without further ado, quickly for me, I will be moderating this session. My name is Ryan Finger. I am the Director of Product Marketing, overseeing APM. I'm really fortunate to work with this group and share our vision and our story with the market. So I'll hand it over to Malavika to introduce herself, and then we'll get into it.
Thanks, Ryan. Hello, everyone. My name is Malavika Tohani, and I'm the Research Director at Verdantix in the Operational Excellence team. Verdantix is an independent tech research and consulting company. I've been with Verdantix now for over 7 years. And before that, I used to work in another research and consulting company as a research director in their energy and environment team. Really looking forward to the session today. I'll hand over to Tamer.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello. My name is Tamer Eldemir, Reality Manager, SOCAR Turkiye Refinery and Petrochemicals Business Unit. Approximately 26 experience the oil and gas industry. And Joan, continue, please.
Yes, thank you, Tamer Bey. So my name is Johan Verkit. I'm consultancy leader within previously Stork Asset Management Technology, but now Bilfinger. We've been acquired by Bilfinger since April 1st. I will give more detailed about what Bilfinger exactly doing. Working already in the APM space for about 20 years and collaborating intensively with previously Meridium and now GE Vernova on the APM space since 2009. And with that, I hand it over to Vipin.
Thanks, Johan. Vipin Nair. I'm Director of Product Management for GE Vernova, especially focusing on asset performance management. Been with GE for last 12 years, but overall 18 years in this space. I come from an industry background, expertise, aligns to reliability, mechanical integrity, and I'm fortunate enough to work with customers like Tamer, Johan, and analysts like Malavika here to get the insights, both from the field, the analyst, partners, and then align it to our roadmap, right, to ensure we are heading in the right direction. So thank you.
Perfect. So without further ado, we are going to hand it over to Malavika to kick us off here. So Malavika.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, let's jump straight into our Green Quadrant methodology. So this is Verdantix's flagship methodology where we basically benchmark leading vendors in a particular space. And in this instance, we looked at APM software vendors. We covered nearly 16 vendors as part of this Green Quadrant process. Just to give you a bit of an introduction of what it entailed, So our Green Quadrant is a mix between our existing research, existing and ongoing research and conversations that we have with industrial customers across the board, along with obviously our Verdantix Vantage platform, which is free for practitioners. If you're in a maintenance role or an engineer or a plant manager, you can get free access to Verdantix research and analysts via the Verdantix Vantage platform. We also undertook some very specific Green Quadrant related research. So we sent an 137-point questionnaire to all the vendors who were participating in the Green Quadrant. We also held 2-hour demos across 5 scenarios. So we provided these 5 scenarios to all the vendors in order to make sure that we were evaluating them on the same page. And then we also spoke to the customers of these vendors who were involved in the Green Quadrant analysis. We asked them to send us 2 customer contacts with whom we spoke to. All this, so taking all this together, the questionnaire and the demos, all the vendors are rated on a scale of 0 to 3, which is 0 is having no functionality, and of course, getting a 3 is best-in-class functionality. Before I show you the results of the Green Quadrant, I just wanted to talk about the APM software landscape as a whole. Traditionally, APM software has been very maintenance-focused in the sense that it was all about understanding the integrity condition of the assets, predicting the failures. While those capabilities are still very important, APM software and the different capabilities and areas it covers has evolved over the years. I still remember the first APM Green Quadrant we did, and it was back in 2020. And even in just 4 years, we've seen the market for APM really evolve. So we obviously look at things such as, asset health, predictive failure, asset integrity, reliability management, and so on. We've also added extra capabilities that a lot of vendors are now offering around life cycle analysis, investment planning, performance optimization, and environmental aspects, looking at things like energy management, leaks and seeps management, carbon management, and so on. And so you can see here in this slide how, what are some of the key features for each of those areas. Whom does it really target? So it's not only just speaking to maintenance people, but it's also talking to reliability engineers. It's talking to sustainability officers. It's talking to the COOs. This slide really encapsulates the capabilities that APM providers such as GE Vernova are investing in. And this slide's all about how they're investing in capabilities that can improve the accessibility, flexibility, and scalability of APM solutions for customers like yourselves who are attending this webinar today. So first capability that I want to talk about a little bit more in detail is around data management. We all know that for high quality analytics requires high quality data. And in industrial facilities specifically, you have a variety of data that needs to be collected, cleansed, and contextualized. And this is exactly why APM vendors are investing in very strong foundational data management or data ops capabilities, as we say. Within our technical functionality, so we evaluated 8 technical functionalities or 8 technical capabilities as part of the Green Quadrant. And some of the things that carried a very high weightage was around platform interoperability and integrations, user interface, platform configurability, data management, business intelligence, and so on. Functional capabilities, of course, are around the use cases that I showed you just a little while ago. The next point is around generative AI and how APM software is being augmented with generative AI. I would say Gen AI has transformed the way content is created, accessed and understood. I think since the launch of ChatGPT back in November 2022. And APM software providers, to be honest, not just APM software providers, but software providers everywhere are incorporating some sort of Gen AI capabilities. And in the context of APM, really to improve the adoption as well as to deliver prescriptive insights. So what are some of the capabilities that APM software providers are investing in? First of all, they're building co-pilots to provide maybe deeper context or maybe even insights on specific machines. Gen AI, for some of the vendors, they're also using it to extract relevant insights from multiple data sets to maybe answer some complex questions. We are seeing other use cases as well. But these two are, I would say, the most prevalent at the moment. The next one is around out-of-the-box failure modes, which are very industry-specific. And these are extremely required because when you have a rich library of out-of-the-box failure modes, and they're also very industry-specific, it helps with very robust predictive and, more importantly, prescriptive analytics. For example, GE Vernova, they have over 350 asset classes in its digital twin catalog. The library also contains over 18,500 diagnostics, and they're working to put more prescriptive analytics out of the box as well as part of their roadmap. The next 2 points, which is around developing quick-to-build reliability models and offering self-service analytics, goes to talk about the quick ROI, the quick scalability of APM software. It's been a bit notorious, APM software. Everybody thinks an implementation of APM software requires a lot of resources, it's time-consuming. And the vendors are trying to change this for their customers by doing a lot of the things that are mentioned over here. So talking about out-of-the-box reliability models as well as low-code, no-code sort of analytics, we all know that RCM is integral to achieving increased asset uptime, along with net zero KPIs as well as regulatory compliance. So what APM software providers like GE are doing is allowing users to configure their own models for reliability analysis in, say, a step-by-step way using low-code, no-code approach. Users can also create their own analytics in certain cases if the platform allows for it in a very low-code sort of an environment. To give you a bit of an idea, so GE Vernova offers its customers where GE's customers can develop their own AI ML models with preferred tooling. It can be like Amazon SageMaker, Microsoft Azure, or Vertex, and deploy these models in GE's APM analytics solution. So then it goes from maybe being deployed on a couple of assets to really scaling across multiple assets. And it also supports Python, Java, and MATLAB language support. I'll give a pause there and see if anybody has any comments. Are you seeing the same trends? Maybe I can ask Tamer or anyone else on the call here.
Yeah, so I'll hop on, and I love these thoughts. I know we have a lot of APM experts on the call. So I think tying all these together as someone who's not from let's say a pure O&M, power generation, asset-intensive industry, more of a software lens, these trends have been in place not only in energy, but other industries. And so when I look at kind of what's emerging in energy compared to where other industries have been in the past, they're very similar trends. And one of the big things on top of all of this is how do you wrap your arms around these trends and how you decide where to start, right? So each organization, as you showed in the last slide, has a very different maturity and aptitude for some of these emerging things. So it's really important, and what jumps out to me is, as you look across vendors for APM, it's how is that vendor also helping to support current state, so quick wins, and also long-term growth. So I look at the expansion into renewables and sustainability. You can't do that without data connectivity, without analytics, right? And without a vision on how things connect. So that's data lakes, that's different clouds, that's on-prem. So tying this all together is really, to me, the underlying piece is what's that digital infrastructure that allows for that versus trying to maybe band-aid a solution together just to do pure predictive or just to do pure generative. It's really about the trend of how do you wrap your arms across your EAM, APM, and other systems to actually do this scalably. So to me, yes, we're seeing all these trends, but also what we see is it's very difficult to decide where to start and how to actually go about deploying some of these newer strategies.
I agree, Ryan. And in fact, we recently did a services survey, and it really came out in that survey that customers are really investing to work with service providers, even to start with just developing the vision and strategy for their maintenance digitization, right? So yes, everybody's, I think, on a different kind of maturity level, and it needs to match their strategies there. Johan, did you have anything to add to it?
Yeah, I think that's also what we see, these challenges with many of our customers. And as we are not a software development company, it is good to have, let's say, a partner and also to have, let's say, independent consultancy companies that, let's say, pinpoint out these challenges in the market. But also our job is to connect, and that's what we are constantly doing with GE Vernova, to see what are trends do we see in the market and how software can support the challenges our customers face in reality. And so it's about content. So we work together with GE on out-of-the-box content like an accelerator library, but also we are talking to them about the additional challenges our customers face on top of efficiency improvement they have to make. They are all challenges with the fact that sustainability and the net zero target is close in 2030, 2050. Everybody wants to be close to net zero. And this is where, let's say, software can support in a smooth manner the challenges that customers face. And with the APM, we indirectly support the sustainability agenda, and directly through the implementation of other software capabilities, I think as shown later in this presentation. So it's great to see that industry challenges and software capabilities are coming more and more closely together. And that's a great thing about the trends we see. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, with that, let's move on and see the actual quadrant here. So this is the Green Quadrant for APM solutions that we published earlier this year in July 2024. As you can see, GE Vernova is in the leaders quadrant. GE achieved perfect scores of 3 out of 3 for both asset health as well as for integrity management capabilities. And one of the key things that I do want to highlight is, GE Vernova offers an extensive library of qualitative and quantitative damage mechanisms that are compliant with API 581. But also GE has an autonomous inspection application that integrates with its APM solution and leverages AI and machine learning algorithms to capture images and support automated gauge reading, corrosion management, and thermal profiling. I know there's going to be quite a few examples shared, but what really stood out for us at Verdantix about GE's integrity management capabilities was formerly known as Oman Oil Company, OQ, achieved approximately 59 million in savings, dollars in savings by leveraging GE Vernova's APM integrity solution. GE also scored the highest. It was the top scorer in the Green Quadrant for its reliability analysis capabilities. Again, users can quickly build failure modes and run simulations to assess the risks and associated mitigating actions. It also supports criticality analysis via a configurable risk matrix. And the criticality analysis module is integrated with failure mode, FMECA, RCM, and asset strategy management modules for GE. The next one is around the environmental performance capabilities. So again, here GE scored the highest in the Green Quadrant for its environmental performance capabilities. It achieved 2.6 out of 3. And the main reason for this was GE offers something called APM accelerators, which is pre-built industry models for renewables like wind and solar, as well as for traditional utility assets, so that firms can quickly set up asset reliability and performance programs. And firms like Tampa Electric use GE Vernova's APM Solar Accelerator for solar asset monitoring, performance benchmarking, and identifying degradation sources for improved farm efficiency. So those are the 3 things I really wanted to highlight about GE and why it did so well in our Green Quadrant. Just another one to add is GE was in the top 3 in the Green Quadrant for its technical capabilities, and it was the highest scorer in the Green Quadrant for its functional capabilities. With that, let me hand over to, am I handing over to Johan for this section?
It'll be me, Malavika, thank you. Really good overview, a lot going on. And I wanted just to take a few minutes here just to get us all centralized on GE Vernova's APM. And I'm gonna emphasize a GE Vernova. So similar to Bilfinger and Stork, as of April this year, our software business is part of GE Vernova. So you'll see the green, you'll see some new branding. So if you see Vernova out there, that's still us, don't worry. But Malavika pointed out a few really interesting things, especially when it comes to scoring. What you're going to hear from Vipin after this is we wanted to focus on where we scored the highest and highlight the fact that APM, as you heard from Johan and you will hear from Tamer, is more than just predictive analytics. It is far, far more than that. So I wanted to share our vision and kind of the scope, and Vipin will go deeper on when we say APM, what does it mean to GE Vernova? Starting at the bottom, it starts with scalable and modernized infrastructure, whether that's cloud or on premises, right? We're releasing our APM v5.2 shortly. And we've really been focused on composability, scale, security, and speed, right? So on top of what we're creating are these applications that are built for industry or for any industry, right? So digitizing asset strategies, doing condition monitoring, predictive analytics, right? Leveraging smart signal analytics and reliability. We can do thermal monitoring. And then we have integrity and safety that leans, as you heard about OQ, very heavily into the oil and gas space and integrity and safety. So when you look at our vision, it's still sustaining and growing those applications that you know and love, right? The legacy Meridian, the legacy smart signal that's now an interoperable part of our APM. That's not going to change. But what you'll see is things like APM asset optimization, accelerators that was called out to really help with speed of deployment and return on investment. And you'll see in the middle of the screen 2 really cool technologies. Autonomous inspection, which we won't talk about a lot here, is an AI-powered computer vision product for remote monitoring your gauges, thermal profiling. That's a newer addition to our portfolio. And then Sirius, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. This is really our carbon emissions reduction software focused on the collection, cleansing, and actioning of your scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions, right? So whether you're a manufacturer, oil and gas, power gen, if you have a goal for net zero and you're trying to grapple with how can I get the best control of this data and use it, we're now currently working with customers like Xcel Energy and Azito to deploy it. So this is our view. I'll kick it to Vipin to go deeper. He is our technical APM leader. But when we say APM, this is APM for GE Vernova.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. So again, thank you, team, for joining. I'll be covering this slide, which is the product vision, right? So we have scored really the top score in the Verdantix Green Quadrant. But what are we doing to make sure that we are still working and ensuring that we are catering to the requirements across multiple customer bases? So one thing, if you remember from the earlier slide, which Malavika pointed out, is developing out-of-the-box content. And that's the first theme. So expanded use cases, when we talk about that, we are primarily looking at content creation for new asset types and new verticals. So we are very strong with, say, power generation and oil and gas, especially downstream. We are expanding these use cases to, say, mining. So recently we have collaborated with a partner called Assetivity to create content, especially for mining, mobile trucks, crushers, conveyor belts, etc. In the same time, we are also evaluating content for upstream and midstream asset types like structures, pipelines, right? And then also within the power generation, we are looking how we can expand into renewables. So we are constantly working on building new blueprints or the models for wind turbine, accelerator content for wind turbines also. So that will continue to be one of the focus areas in the coming years also, where we continue to expand content, predictive analytics, and risk models for new asset types in various industry verticals. Then moving into AI, ML, and Gen AI, I know it's one of the most favorite topics for a lot of customers, and I get questions every day, and what are we doing in this space? So one thing which I do want to remind you is that we already have elements of AI, ML in our solutions, right? So one solution that Ryan just mentioned is autonomous inspection, which uses computer vision as an AI technology to detect failure modes in an image or convert a physical image into a analog data set to a digital data set into a time series. So that's an existing capability that we have. But what I also want to kind of talk to this, users here, the audience here is, we are currently working on an incubation mode for generative AI. And as Malavika mentioned, we see a lot of potential for improving the productivity of users, any personas. So a few of the use cases that we are actively working is prescriptive recommendations in our predictive analytics solution, which is our smart signal solution, but also a co-pilot similar capability in APM workflows like inspection, strategy development, or health, where you can get an asset perspective based on all the historical data that is seen over the years. So right now we are running the proof of concept with AWS, who is our technology partner, and we are evaluating their Bedrock capability and validating the right language model, right? We are comparing with, say, the Claude, ChatGPT, Llama, and looking at which is the most accurate model for text summarization. So one thing which we do not want is to kind of invest in the wrong technology, which cannot be scaled with time. So I just want to let you know we are actively working on that space. And then if we move to modern, connected, and scalable, that itself is also another technology side of the constraint, right? A friction that we see where customers wants to move to a cloud solution, which is scalable, which is enterprise in level, and which is also adhering to the latest cybersecurity requirements. So I see a lot of questions. What is our differentiators? I would say our cloud strength is one of our differentiators compared to point solution. We actively work on our cybersecurity. We actively invest on connectivity, be it the OT and the IT side of the fence. We are currently working on cloud-to-cloud integration. So for example, if you want to connect to data lakes, we are evaluating those kind of integrations as we scale up customers into a cloud environment. And then finally, if I come to condition monitoring, predictive analytics is great for, say, A critical assets, but we also have to have a strategy for B and C critical asset, right? And that's where condition monitoring is a critical strategy that we would like to evaluate and invest on. So one of the examples is that we are going to have a baseline integration with AMS Analytics. Currently, it's a custom solution, but we are working it to make it more baseline and provide it as a baseline solution. Similarly, we are evaluating models which can be simpler, easy to use, and easy to deploy models for B and C critical asset. And I'll go through these slides very quick. And one thing which I do want to, again, everybody to realize is GE Vernova's solution is one solution where you get application which supports your predictive analytics program, condition monitoring program, connected worker program, mechanical integrity program, or an asset safety program, right? And if you kind of go ahead and look into market, a lot of these point solutions supports fewer elements of it. And we never get the holistic view of how the entire asset base is doing. So starting with mechanical integrity, as Malavika mentioned, we scored 3 out of 3. It just validates that we have a leading platform for providing an RBI solution, which helps you develop your risk models and risk calculations. We support variations of it, and we are also aligning to the industry standards. But we also have a very strong inspection database management system, which helps you support visual inspection and corrosion monitoring program. Along with that, our strong asset health suite of solutions support a key workflow called integrity operating window, which is very close to a condition monitoring program. We call it as a dynamic risk visualization, right, for non-time-based damage mechanism. Along with those critical components of integrity, we also want to be catching up with technology. That's why we are ensuring we support visualization, which is contextual visualization, be it 2D or 3D, or support a mobile solution. So we recently launched a mobile solution similar to Rounds, which is called Integrity Mobile. I also want to call out that we scored a 3 out of 3 in MI, but we also scored a 4 out of 3 for the process safety and risk management. A lot of our users might not be aware of our APM safety solution, which has got an out-of-the-box hazard analysis platform, a management of change, and also a very strong module to manage your safety instrumented system program. So, so that's one of our strongest suite. With that, we'll move into the next slide, which talks about asset health. And when we talk about asset health, we are primarily talking about 2 key workflows. One is the connected worker, which enables the operators, maintenance engineers to collect the data in the field as per your preventive maintenance work. But also this supports a holistic view of your asset health index, right? So it can kind of collate the data coming from various inputs, be it inspection, be it rounds, or predictive analytics, and then kind of summarize that as an asset health index, which can be used for planning your work in your EAM system. So we continue to invest on our mobile application and also on connectivity. So I've talked about in the first slide, and this is going to be, again, one of our primary focus area. So this kind of ties back to condition monitoring programs too.
Yeah, and Vipin, just to add, I think on the health part, it's really important to call out maybe some of the misconceptions that we hear in terms of our connectivity, right? And it goes back to the trend. So with EAM pushing and pulling work recommendations, right? Historian data, any historian, it's really integral for APM Health to build these indicators. So we think about a scalable software, and really where we differentiate is we are able to connect to these systems and really break down those silos. So not only can they do condition monitoring, to your point with, let's use integrity as example for oil and gas, you can do asset health in any industry, right? Oil and gas, you then add that alongside health, and you really get this powerful workflow that really isn't provided from some other vendors, right? So when you stack these together on top of that scalable infrastructure and that connectivity, this is the core crux to those few questions I saw in the chat about differentiators. It's an end-to-end APM program, and Johan's going to talk about the methodology behind APM, and Tamer as well. So I want to take a pause there. It's really important to tie the two together, especially when you think about leaning away from point solutions and more towards an interoperable suite.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. And I'll kind of finish it up with the last element that we support, right? We talked about asset integrity, process safety, condition monitoring, connected worker. The last work process that I do want to call out is our defect elimination and the bad actor, which is our reliability standard solution that we are talking about along with our predictive analytics solution. So we still have industry leading solutions to support RCM FMEA, out of the box asset strategy template, working with partners like Stork. So we continue to invest on that. We are looking right now, we do have a module which kind of aims at spare part optimization, but one element that we are actively working is how can we connect better with the materials management and do a spare part management holistically across the board. It ties back to the asset investment planning. Again, root cause analysis, one of very critical elements of, or the backbone of bad actor identification is RCA. So we continue to invest on it based on how we can provide better templates, how we can simplify the UI, how you can apply it to multiple templates, how we can learn from previous history, etc. So RCA will continue to be a focal area of our innovation and investment. And then finally, asset strategy optimization. That's where everything comes into place where we compare all the data from your bad actor analysis, EM data, and then further help you with asset strategy optimization. I've got limited time, so with that, I would like to hand it over to Ryan. But if there's any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we want to save the time for the good stuff with Johan and Tamer. And to Vipin's point, we focus on reliability analysis. We want to be clear. GE Vernova, we still have a leading predictive analytics moving to prescriptive solution, right? That brand that was known as Smart Signal now being a part of our overall APM. Very, very critical to this workflow. But the Monte Carlo simulations, the spare parts analysis alongside of that is very important in terms of really getting a full view of your assets. So I do want to be clear. If you read the report, we are fairly well ranked in the predictive space due to our connectivity and the models that we're building. And I'll spend just a few on this. It's a hot topic. And as I shared in the first slide, this is something that GE Vernova is actively investing in to make sure that our customers not only have the APM required today, but also the tools they need for the future. With a lot of organizations having actual net zero targets, that's 2050, 2030, or some of these targets are being now pushed to plants and sites to help better manage emissions, right? So there's a few things that we provide. The score here, what was it, 2.6? And there's 4 or 5 things that we provide that can really help your organization scale and potentially reduce those emissions if used the right way. The first one, someone asked a question as well, Sirius. It's our carbon emissions reduction software. We currently have customers working with Sirius. There's some great resources available online about how it works. There's an interactive demo. And it's really about collecting, really auditing, cleaning, and then actioning emissions data. So your scope 1, 2, and 3, really helping chief sustainability officers or really the executive suite get a grasp on what exactly their assets are producing and how to best strategize to reduce those emissions. Then we have things like performance predictions, a very, again, AI/ML leaning solution here. Really to help manage and optimize mixed generation fleets. If you're a power generator expanding or looking for more coverage, that's another option. And then we have 3 near the bottom. So autonomous tuning and boiler opt, I will kind of group, you can read in the report, into 1. Autonomous tuning, if you're actually using a gas turbine, this is a machine learning built solution that actually helps you automate the temperatures and fuel splits on your assets. And then solar accelerators that you heard about. So when we say solar accelerators, this is to help support our customers who are being tasked with new energy sources. So if you're a power generator, oil and gas, if you're a large company that even runs its own renewable energy systems, solar is one example. We also have examples of our coverage across wind, hydro, and other elements. So we scored very high here. It's a great supplement to our current APM solution, and we're looking to hear from customers in the market on how we can best do that going forward. And I'm going to kick it over to Johan to take it from here in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan, and thank you for having us and on this webinar today. So first of all, my first slide is then we went through the same process as GE Vernova went around the APM software. I think last year with a colleague from Malavika, we went to the process regarding Stork at that time, and now Bilfinger, to go to the process to look at what is our industrial asset management services capabilities and implementation capabilities. And we went through the same process, and we were nominated as a leader in the Green Quadrant from Verdantix, which is quite an achievement. And if you see as the result from the report, we have also the highest scores in the domain where GE APM has the highest scores, meaning asset health, mechanical integrity, reliability analytics, condition monitoring, and these capabilities, as many of our customers are requesting to have APM implemented to drive their asset improvement. So we see similarities between the report from GE Vernova and that one from us as an implementation leader in asset management. So a little bit about Bilfinger, but not too much. You will get a copy of this presentation. Is that Bilfinger acquired Stork in, let's say, April this year. We are focusing on providing solution throughout the complete asset lifecycle, where most of our revenue comes out of engineering and maintenance and less in technologies, where we also, like GE, focusing on energy transition, but more in line with APM and with emission management. Our primary focus and solutions and services we are providing to customers right now are in efficiency and sustainability. This is the strategy that has been developed by the Bilfinger management, and this is based on what our customers are telling us. So we do that in different industries, but for all these industries, our primary focus is on efficiency and sustainability. And our role within working together with GE Vernova is on the APM or the APM software adoption, and to improve the acceleration of the APM software adoption, where in many cases GE Vernova does, let's say, the technical implementation, make sure that the integration between the EAM APM software is very smooth, and that you can get the data from the different data sources to drive that improvement. Our role is to make sure that through the adoption, through implementing the work processes, giving training and coaching, and change management, we make sure that there is a continuous improvement, not only about the work processes, but also about the inspection and maintenance plans. So we usually start by analyzing risk. In a greenfield situation, we often do RAMS studies, but also in existing, we look at criticality analysis based on the risk matrix that is in the software. We use different techniques to develop what are the strategies. The strategies for inspections and maintenance. So translated in planned, preventive, and predictive maintenance strategies. And obviously, we want to be as lean as possible in developing these inspection and maintenance plans. When these inspection and maintenance plans are generated through the EM software, obviously we need to make sure that we monitor this. We monitor the equipment. We see that this equipment behaves between the set thresholds. We do predictive analytics, and we make sure that by analytics and actions, we revise, we change the strategies, so to make sure that we all, as much as possible, mitigate all the failures that have happened in the plant. So our role is, in short, to make sure that this continuous improvement cycle, as you see on the screen, is ensured by implementing work processes, by change management, but also to make sure that the APM software solution smoothly supports these work processes. And with that, I would like to hand it over to Ryan and Tamar to explain, let's say, the collaboration we had together with SOCAR Turkiye on the APM project. Over to you, Ryan and Tamar Bey.
Yeah, thank you, Johan and Vipin. And I just want to take a quick, just to recognize SOCAR, one, for joining us, and two, for what you're about to walk through. You've all been a great partner awesome feedback. So thank you for joining. For the people on the call, the chat is still open for questions. We should have a good 10 minutes to 5-10 minutes at the end to answer questions live. So if you have questions, please put in the chat. And again, I'll hand it over to Tamer to share what SOCAR is working on, and I will go from there. So thanks, Tamer.
Yeah. Hello. I want to give information about the SOCAR Turkiye. Having taken the massive step in Turkey, a sister country strategic partner, SOCAR acquired the petrochemical site in 2008 after the increase the investment. The investment includes some big project, refinery, approximately refinery, 11 million capacity refinery, and container terminal, and storage power plants. SOCAR Turkey is very activity in many sectors. Primarily refinery, petrochemical, and natural gas, trading, transmission, and distribution. SOCAR Turkiye brother countries, Azerbaijan and Turkey. So SOCAR Turkiye APM program, the project plan, you can see. This one is we divided the project 3 phases divided. First phase is the gap analysis and prepared phase. The other phase is improve, and final phase is the maintenance excellence phase. We defined the smart performance indicators, stage monitoring the every phase. We also the indicators such as the project after the complete. You can find the indicator is on the slide, other slide. So the project is the 270 gap. We start the gap analysis with the Stork. Stork is the very big company and very experienced company. So the project we supported the Stork company consultant, and after the gap analysis improve area. Firstly is the APM. We need the APM software. So APM software GE Vernova is the best solution for us. So we started the project 2008 the project. Asset management project GE Vernova Stork. This Stork is the very successful project. Step by step, every step is the very successful project. SOCAR Turkiye, we decided the strategic decision. The petrochemical and refinery integrated. 2019 November we started the integrated system. So we combined the project refinery and petrochemical site, combined the projects, only one project. The company's organization structure were under the SOCAR Turkiye, or organization change or the other change. We, after the ISO 55001 certificate 2022 years, we taken. We aims the maintenance excellence to feature the aim of the achieve the maintenance excellence by the not only executive, but also by monitoring and improving them. So, wait a minute. After the project, we defined smart performance indicator each stage. So, after the project, we measured the performance, reduction in reactivity to 20%, reduction HS incident 10%, reduction in maintenance inventory cost 70%, reduction to total maintenance cost 5%, increase the availability to petrochemical site and refinery site together, increase the employee productivity. APM software, GE Vernova APM software, very useful system. So integrated the other system, SAP and PhD, process storing data, all the other system. So APM system decision making a lot of the action. After the smart signal we buy the module. First, the smart signal is module, smart signal GE Vernova bundle of condition monitoring, as you know. So we started the 5 equipment. We started the 5 equipment. After the project is the very successful, increase the expanded 13 equipments. Alerts occurring the 820 alert everything only 1 year. Open the case. Thank you very much, the smart signal and the other module. Thank you, Rai.
Yeah, thank you, Tamer. And Johan, I know you were closely involved, Johan. I don't know if you have anything to add to the great work Tamer and team have done on this front.
No, I think I can only subscribe to, let's say, what I previously say is that I think this project is an example how software and let's say the implementation of the software and the work processes in the organization come together in one. And we saw that by assisting and helping in a one-third approach. So 1/3 of the, let's say, the facilitation was done by Stork, supported by an engineer from SOCAR. But then the role switched in the next 1/3. We saw that the adoption of the work processes and the use of the software by the process guides we jointly developed was a key success factor, because the engineers from SOCAR embraced the change and make sure that they were, let's say, trained, but also getting very enthusiastic about the uses of the tool and saw the value of the tool. And as you see, is that they are becoming more and more ambassadors of, let's say, the software application and explaining that to not only to their colleagues, but also to the rest of the world. So that I think it's an example how APM should be implemented. And that's not only the software, it's not only Stork, but there's also the SOCAR team itself and the mentality and the culture of the SOCAR team that makes the difference. So Tamer Bey's team have done a great job.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, really good. I know we have a few minutes left, and I wanted just to summarize kind of what we heard today and say one more thing before we answer a few questions. So really what we talked through today is, one, why is GE Vernova's APM different, right? It's more than predictive maintenance. It's more than the glitz and glamour that you're seeing in the market today. It is an embedded solution that's end-to-end that supports, to Johan and Tamer's point, also the adoption and methodology of APM. Right, it really helps support engineers and their expertise get the outcomes that they need. We're working on some of those emerging technologies in the right way. That's also what you heard. So Malavika, thank you to you and Verdantix for the research. If you haven't read the report, you have an opportunity to download the link right here. Again, Verdantix is probably one of the top analyst firms looking into APM today. You heard from Vipin, our vision, where we're going. A big part of that is partnerships. So Johan, thank you to you and your team. How can we best support our customers, not only with technology, but with processes, studies, and a roadmap for the future. And then from Tamer, this couldn't be possible without our customers. There's some questions in the chat about industries we serve, and I wanted to address one of them around renewables. So Tamer, obviously a very unique use case, oil and gas, petrochemical. We do a lot there with integrity and safety and other applications. But when you look at the question specifically is, how does our APM support renewables? Our APM is really interesting in the fact that it's highly composable since our V5 release, right? So if you're looking to monitor wind turbines or hydro, we have some really unique use cases, and it comes down to what functionality is required from those industries for us to support, right? In Tamer's case, in SOCAR Turkiye, they use a lot of our solutions. It's a very robust technical process. So what we find in renewables is it might be bits and pieces of APM that can best support. So again, I want to say thank you. There's a few questions here people have to drop. I know we're almost at the top of the hour. But Vipin, I wanted to get a question over to you about when we talk about data and accurate data, what's our process and how do we go about working with our customers to help them with some of those challenges?
Yeah, so when we say data, there's various types of data, Ryan, and I do want to first is like where we see a lot of issues is the work history data set, right? And the one way to identify if it's a bad data is to first just integrate with work history, so which we do a great job as ability to integrate it and bring it into APM. And the other good thing about APM is out-of-the-box accelerators content, which helps you define the data quality. So we have a workflow to improve your data quality, especially on the work history data set to understand, which are the content that needs to be updated. So that's one element, but also the other element, if we are, getting on a journey of thickness monitoring or RBI, each of the data set changes, right? So once you get it started for a specific purpose, like in this case, risk analysis, and if it's not matching, we help you identify those bad data set as a part of those, work processes. So I like us to connect data quality to bad actors, risk calculations, etc. So, and our analytical tool or the work process can help you easily identify that. Right?
Perfect. And I know we're kind of up at time. So any last thoughts, Malavika, Johan, Tamer, from the content today? If not, what we'll do for the folks with questions still in the chat, we will follow up if we need a more technical answer. Please feel free to reach out to myself or Vipin from the GE side. If you have any questions about Verdantix, also let us know. We're happy to get you in touch with Malavika. And if you want to learn more about Tamer's great work with his organization, there's a great public story online from SOCAR Turkiye. So I saw a question, and hey, can you quantify the reactive maintenance? Tamer and his team did a great presentation at our Houston event in April of this year. It's actually going to be coming up in 2025. So if you're interested in the story, want to learn more, want to come join us, we have a lot of great content. So reach out to me. We're happy to share. And again, I just want to say thank you. I know Tamer, Johan, Malavika, you're all very busy. So thank you for the partnership, the work in the field, and we really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for the time. Thanks for having us.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.